All right, please do continue to stay on with us. Some breaking inputs coming in as we continue to monitor the latest at this point. These are the developments that we're getting in the Indian Army's Northern Command statement on the Nagrota incident. Suspicious movement near the Indian Army base. And a brief exchange of fire near the Nagrota military station. That's the latest that's trickling in at this point. The Indian Army saying that search operations are underway to track the intruders. At the same time, the Indian Army's Northern Command statement talking about how there has been a brief exchange of fire near the Nagrota military station and suspicious movement reported near Indian Army base. And search operations are underway to track the intruders. Let's go back across now to our esteemed guest who's been getting in his perspectives. Major General Rajan Kochhar, your quick comments on the latest that we are getting at this point.
You see, we are aware that there are some terrorists within this region. A figure of approximately 120 terrorists is the estimate, and 70 of them are onto the valley side and 50 of them south of Pir Panjab. So these 50 maybe from the same lot of these terrorists who are there in this region. And this problem will remain. You see, you may negotiate a ceasefire, you may do anything, but Pakistan will maintain that this is an act of your local population, your local Kashmiris, and we have got nothing to do with that because Pakistan has been maintaining this kind of a thing. And second aspect, so I don't think it is this ceasefire is going to be a part of these kind of terrorist attacks because these attacks will continue. You may be having a ceasefire on the border because a ceasefire is basically a ceasefire on the border. And it is the exchange of fire across the border, this side and that side. But within our own state, Jammu and Kashmir, if there is a terrorist act like this, it does not qualify in the statement that if there is any terrorist attack, that it is an act of war, because this will not come into the purview of the act of war. This is my reading of the situation. And what important aspect is this ceasefire, even if it sustains itself by tomorrow, will remain fragile. Because you see, unless you come together and you have a mutual exchange of ideas and you decide and you try to resolve your issues in a bilateral manner, the ceasefires won't be lasting. And as a matter of precaution, I think the government should consider that this ceasefire, maybe it is to diffuse this present volatile situation between the two countries, which can lead to a war, is to diffuse this particular situation. But the ground reality is that the problem will remain and we need to be prepared at all times.
Indeed, do stay on with me. Just a quick reiteration of the statement that came in from the Indian Foreign Secretary just a while ago about the breach of the understanding that was arrived at between India and Pakistan, and there's been repeated violation of that understanding is what the Indian Foreign Secretary had said, and how the armed forces are maintaining strong vigil on the situation and giving adequate response. And in the latest updates that came in as well, we got you the details of what has been reported by the army about what's happening vis-a-vis the Nagrota situation. But just a quick word from you as we continue to monitor the latest coming in, sir, about the significance of the very fact that we had this understanding that was arrived at between India and Pakistan, and the word coming in from the Indian side about the breach of that understanding. Also, earlier in the evening, we explained to our viewers about the multi-pronged approach that was adopted by the Indian side and how it had made its stance absolutely clear all throughout as far as the fight against terrorism is concerned. So India all throughout has been maintaining and been absolutely categorical about that.
See, we have maintained a very clear stance as far as the ceasefire was concerned, and we were expecting Pakistan to honor this kind of an agreement. And there are two, three important observations I want to make here, which may be relevant. First is that before the ceasefire, the last attack was from India's side. India had decimated their 6 air bases, and a number of terrorist bunkers were destroyed, and a number of terrorists were killed, because that was the information. Pakistan may have felt that this action of India before the ceasefire would put India into an advantageous position, stating that we were forced to accept due to the attack by India on us, which resulted in a degradation of our combat capabilities. So I think since the last attack was from Indian side, possibly an attempt is being made now to make it evens, that we will retaliate and then we will call it a ceasefire. So that is one point, because they have to face their own people, and the people will say that why have you buckled down to India? So possibly a face-saving measure. I take it as one point. Second, also one observation, nobody's talking about it, is the role of China. Now, we have seen this kind of statement in the morning of China defending Pakistan and saying that Pakistan has a right to protect its sovereignty. So if we see this kind of a very strong statement where China is standing by Pakistan, what I presume here is that China may not be too happy with the ceasefire. And because of inherent differences with the United States, and possibly not wanting to give credit to the United States for getting this ceasefire done. And the stature of President Trump also goes up by this. So he didn't want this to happen. So I'm just thinking loud on this, that there may be a possibility that China prevailed upon Pakistan that don't go ahead with the ceasefire. So I was talking to some experts also in the evening, and some ambassadors also. A few of them aware of this opinion that it could be a possibility that China is not too keen on the ceasefire, and Pakistan has been forced to reconsider his options for a ceasefire with India.